Knicks family, what's poppin'? It's your boy. Big shout out to you. Happy 420 to some of you. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to talk about this Knicks versus Hornets tonight. 7:30 at MSG. Big, important game for the Knicks, ladies and gentlemen. It's an important one. Let's put it like this. The Charlotte Hornets beat us the first time we played. So right now, they have the upper hand. We need to win this game so that we can tie the series. And then, of course, we need to win later on in the season, a few weeks from now, so that we can win this series tiebreaker. That's what has to be done tonight. Not only that, if you beat the Hornets tonight, you create more separation between you and them. You'll be on a 7-game winning streak. You'll be 5 games above 500. And the Boston Celtics lost, which means the Knicks would move into that 5th spot if they win tonight. It's a big game. It's an important game, ladies and gentlemen. So it's time for us to get it done. It's not going to be easy. You already know that the Charlotte Hornets, they're going to battle. They're not going to go away and just say, hey, Knicks, we're going to give it to you. It's going to be a battle. And I never liked the matchup against the Charlotte Hornets. Not in recent years, I haven't. For some reason, it always feels like this team kind of has our number and just matches up with us well. Right? So I am nervous about this game. I'm probably nervous about every game. But I am a little nervous about the game because, one, the more the Knicks keep winning, the higher there's a chance of a loss, right? Because you just can't win all of them. So a bump is going to come somewhere. But it can't come against the Hornets. It can't come against the Hawks. And it can't come against the Raptors. All right? We got to take those teams out. Because we need to win the season series against the Hornets. We need to win the season series against the Raptors. And we need to knock Atlanta down a peg. So these next 2 games coming up tonight and tomorrow are woefully important for the New York Knicks, in my opinion. Must wins for me. The must wins for both of them, ladies and gentlemen. So let's get to it. We got Andy and Steph in the building. We're going to go ahead and break this game down. Find out if the Knicks, or, if we think that the Knicks are going to get a win tonight. Playing against a depleted team. So it's entirely possible that we can get this win. But they're going to come out. Terry Rozier, Scary Terry, been playing basketball, ladies and gentlemen. He's been playing really good basketball. Andy, what's going on with you, my man? How you feeling?
What up, Sim? What up, Steph? What up to the chat? It was a hard day of work. I'm happy I'm home and joining you guys here on the panel to talk about our beloved Knicks. Like you said, it's this game and the next game, really important games. Not only for the standings, but versus the Hornets is for the tiebreaker, and versus the Hawks, it might be catapulting us even to the 4th place if it all goes our way, right? So let's get our fingers crossed and hope for at least a couple of more W's.
Yeah, exactly. Because the Knicks right now are on the 6th seed. They're 31-27. They're in the 6th seed. They're tied with Boston. They're also 31-27. But because Boston has a better division record than us, they're in the 5th seed. The Knicks win tonight. I do not believe Boston is playing tonight. No, they're not playing tonight. So if the Knicks win tonight, they will catapult themselves into the 5th seed, I'm sorry. And then they'll have a chance to take out Atlanta and catapult themselves into the 4th seed. So yes, you're exactly right. If we win these 2 games, we can move into the 4th seed. If we win these 2 games. So I'm pretty sure the Knicks know it. All right? Pretty sure they're aware of what they can do over these next 2 days. Steph, what's your take?
Shout out to you, Sam, Andy, the chat. We need them, Sam. We need them. I would like to finish fourth or fifth. Maybe I'm being greedy, and avoid those top three teams. So we play Charlotte tonight. They're a little banged up. I agree with you. They play hard. They were beating Portland by 25 points into the third. I want to even say maybe into the third, and then Portland came back and made it semi-respectable. But they were blowing them out. So we may not recognize a lot of the names on that team, but they play hard, and they're going to give us, everything they got tonight. So it's not going to be a walk in the park. And then we got Atlanta. We need both of them. We get both of these. I know we do for a loss, if you're playing the percentages, but hopefully that'll come after these two games.
That's what I'm saying.
So that we can get into that fourth seed.
I mean, you know it's coming, right? You win tonight, that's 7 in a row. You beat Boston, that's 8 in a row. At some point, it's coming. My hope is this. We play Charlotte, Atlanta, and then Toronto. Let's not take the loss till we get to Phoenix. Okay? Let's take the loss when we get to Phoenix. That's when the loss can come. I'll be okay with that one. Because, Toronto, again, we need to win that tiebreaker just in case. Now, when you look at where Toronto is in the standings, they're in the 12th spot. They're 24-34. They're behind Washington, who is 24-33, and the Bulls are 24-33. So look, the Raptors don't look like they are, they're moving backwards a little bit because they were in the 10th spot. They're moving backwards, but they have won 3 in a row. They are 6-4 in the last 10 games. All right, the Wizards are 7-3 in the last 10 games. They've won 5 in a row, but we already won the season series with them. We're tied with Chicago. Okay, so if we can beat the Raptors, we take care of that. Just in case, who knows, we hit some kind of a slide, we take care of that tiebreaker. We got the tiebreaker versus Indiana. We even it up with Charlotte tonight, hopefully. We've already won the tiebreaker against the Washington Wizards. We'll be in good position in all of those scenarios. I don't think the Knicks are going to slide, but you never can tell, right? You never can tell. I do think they're playing with supreme confidence right now. They have the longest winning streak in the NBA, which, obviously bodes well for the team, but then everybody's gunning for them. Teams that are playing for them are really gunning for them. And the Charlotte Hornets are gunning for them tonight. So it's going to be, like you said, they're a scrappy team. They battle, they play hard. So it's going to be a scrappy battle tonight. It's not going to be any kind of a walkthrough. I'd be surprised if it was. I'd be happy, but I'd be surprised if it was, just a walkthrough type of a game, Of course, the Charlotte Hornets are dealing with some injury issues right now. Gordon Hayward, he's out for at least 4 weeks, I think it is. That was back on April 3rd that he was out at least 4 weeks. So he's got another 2 weeks to go. Devontae Graham, he's day-to-day with a quad injury. He's listed as questionable for tonight's game versus the Knicks. Nate Darling, he's out. Not that we were probably worried about Nate Darling anyway. Malik Monk is out for tonight's game. And then, of course, LaMelo Ball is out. Although the Hornets said on yesterday, that LaMelo Ball's wrist has healed and he's been cleared to return to individual basketball activity. Obviously, he's not going to play tonight, but, he's been cleared to return for activity. I don't know how that bodes for them as far as him playing down the stretch of the season. So, they got some injuries. They got some guys out. But they still have some guys, they still have a good basketball team. And they still got guys that can play some basketball. You know what I mean? And they're a team that we've got to I see you moving your head back and forth, Kev. You look good. I see you looking,
I'm
back
trying to
and
get
forth.
myself situated.
I know, I'm just saying, you look good. I see you looking back and forth. I don't know, maybe you just got your beard sharp or whatever,
hey,
but
man.
you look good. You look good.
Yo, I'm using all my time all my time, because come Monday we're all called back into the offices. So I'm trying
there
to
you
use
go.
all my
Okay.
And
All
if
right.
you think I'm happy, I'm not.
Time to get to work, huh? What do you think about tonight's game, man?
I when you listed the injury report, I feel a little bit, more confident than I did months ago. The thing about it is that we're a totally different team from when we played them the first time. I don't have that starting lineup that from last time, but I could tell you that Austin Rivers and I forget who else. All I know is that Burks didn't play, Bullock didn't play, and we didn't have Rose.
Didn't play.
Yeah, we didn't have Rose yet, and we're a totally different team. I think we're more mature. I think we're more we have better chemistry. And I think we're a better team this go around than we were, last night. I mean, I just think we are just locked in. I've never seen us so locked in years. Right. We are just really, really locked in. So I'm feeling very good about tonight.
Yeah, I think we are definitely a better team than we were when we played them earlier in the season. When you look earlier in the season when we played them, I mean, like you said, we had a lot of different characters even playing the basketball game. And Tom Thibodeau hadn't really settled in on he knew who the starters were going to be.
Right.
And we've had the same starters, since the beginning of the season, since the beginning of training camp.
Yeah, he's never wavered.
Right? He's never wavered from that. But he was still playing around with who's going to be in the rotation off the bench.
Right.
Right. And when you look at who played in that game, Austin Rivers, like you said, he started at guard. He had 13 points, 4 rebounds. So, he played okay. As a team, we didn't shoot well at all. Kevin Knox had 19 points that game.
Yeah, there's no telling. I don't think he's getting,
And he's probably not going to play. Yeah, he's probably not going to play tonight. As a matter of fact, he was our leading scorer in that game. He had 19.
What does that tell you?
Yeah, he had 19 points. He was 7 for 17 from the field. He was 5 for 12 on the 3-point line. He had 5 rebounds and 2 assists. Right? Like, that's the Kevin Knox we were hoping we were going to get for the entire season. Maybe not 19 points every game, but that's the Kevin Knox we were hoping we were going to get this year. Still holding out hope for that guy, though. I am.
Let me ask you this.
Not for this season, but I'm holding out hope for him.
Okay, so I got to put you on the spot a little bit. Do you think that's a reflection of him, or is that a reflection of the coach not believing in him?
I think it's a reflection of him not doing the little things that the coach wants him to do.
Got it. Okay.
Tom Thibodeau knows that he can put the ball in the basket, he can shoot, and he can make it, but he's got to be able to rebound consistently. He's got to be able to do the little things on defense, dive for the ball, all those type of things. Those are the things that you got to be able to do if you're going to play with this team, because this team is a scrappy, hard-nosed, lunch pail type of team. So you got to be able to bring that to the table if you're going to play with this team right here. Got to bring that kind of character.
Yep. Yes, sir.
Right. The starting 5 when we played them the last time was Elfrid Payton, Austin Rivers, Mitchell Robinson, Julius Randle, and R.J. Barrett. Mitch played 33 minutes. He had 12 points and 11 rebounds. Nerlens Noel only played 15 minutes, and he had 4 points, 5 rebounds, and he had 2 blocks. All right, now, of course, Nerlens Noel is a starting center. We'll have Reggie Bullock there at the shooting guard / small forward spot, whichever way it is. And you got Derrick Rose coming off the bench. Manuel quickly played that game. He played 28 minutes. He was 1 for 10 from the field. All right, so things definitely look different. Their starting lineup looked different as well than the way it's going to look tonight. They had Devontae Graham starting, Terry Rozier starting. Gordon Hayward was starting at the small forward spot. You had P.J. Washington at the power forward spot. And then you had Bismack Biyombo starting at center. Right? The last game, right? With their starting lineup, the last game, this is who they started the last game. And I kind of took that and said, maybe this is what they're going to do tonight. They had Terry Rozier at point guard. The last game they played, they won the game, by the way, against the Portland Trail Blazers. They had Cody Martin at shooting guard, Jalen McDaniels at small forward, Miles Bridges at power forward, and Vernon Carey at the center spot, right? So between the two teams, things have definitely changed. So it's hard to say, hey, you got to do this, that, or the third because we're playing an entirely different team.
The one thing I'll say about that team, Sim, is that up to that point, in the point of the season, when we played them the first time, they executed their zone against us to perfection.
Yes, they
really did. So I think now that that we've had enough games where teams have thrown the zone at us, I think we can handle it a lot better. I think that we have the personnel more equipped to handle the zone if they throw it at us. And I believe they will throw it out at us tonight.
Not only that, we're also shooting a lot better. We're shooting like 38% from the three-point line now.
Yeah. Oh, my God. Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
Back then,
totally forgot about that.
We were horrible from the three-point line. As a matter of fact, in that game, from the three-point line, we were 9 for 37. We shot 24% from the three-point line that game. All right, we're a much more confident team from the three-point line.
So much has changed, yeah.
Yeah, we shoot a lot better.
So much has changed.
Yeah, R.J. Barrett in that game, he was 5 for 18 from the field, 11 points, 9 rebounds, and 5 assists. Julius Randle was 2 for 9 from the field. He had 11 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists. All right, our next leading scorer, you had Kevin Knox had 19, Elfrid Payton had 15. And then you had Austin Rivers had 13. Right, our two leading scorers were, both had 11 points. So I'm expecting a totally different game. And of course, Gordon Hayward with nuts in that game. He was killing us from all angles.
And like you said, all season, that is why you have a Reggie Bullock on your team, because I believe if Reggie in that game, that would have slowed him down.
Might have slowed him down a little bit. So, and yeah, that was one of the times.
I think a lot.
That was one of the times. I don't know if Reggie Bullock had been out before that game, but that was one of the times early in the season where I knew how much Reggie Bullock was important to us. Yeah. But as for the Knicks tonight, Alec Burks continues to be out. And of course, Mitchell Robinson is going to be out. So, we don't know what's going on. Obviously, I think we all pretty much know he probably has COVID. So hopefully he's healthy and his family is healthy. And he gets better. He gets better.
Wrong time. Yeah, wrong time.
Yeah, I know, but you know what? It's wrong time, but as long as he comes out of it healthy, I'll be okay, man. That's the big thing. Let him come out of it healthy.
Yes, absolutely.
It's definitely the wrong time for the team, but let him come out of it healthy. Big shout out to Sincere the Genius. He said, we just need to worry about the game in front of us. We execute and play defense. The game is ours. Go Knicks. You're right. We execute. The game is ours, but you better believe the coaching staff and the players know what's ahead. They got to know what's ahead. And
I think they do. And I honestly think they do. I really, the one thing I got to say about Tibbs, which I believe he's in a class by himself compared to all the other coaches that are nominated for Coach of the Year. He really has his team on point and just has them in a different mindset from everybody else. And when we get into the playoffs and we have a long playoff run, that's going to speak a lot. Now, I know the award is probably going to be given, before the playoffs and everything, but he really, really needs to get that nod. I'm sorry. He really does. Well, I mean, kudos to the coach at Phoenix and everything. I like what he's doing. And the coach at Utah, even though the one at Utah, he's been in the game, far too long with that same team and everything. What Tibbs has done with us is just incredible. It really is.
Yeah. You know what's impressive, Sim?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so go ahead.
No, go ahead, Steph.
What's impressive is that how our guys are going down. I don't want to say left or right, but like we're not losing momentum. Like we
Right.
lost Mitch. You would think that Mitch is not important to our team. He is. Right?
Absolutely.
We lost Mitch. We chugging along. Burke stepped up for us the last few games. We lost Burke. We're chugging along. It just seems like no matter what happens, and that just kind of speaks, I think, to the mentality of the team. You know, okay, like Tibbs is not making any excuses, I believe, when he talks to them when a player is out, and they're buying into that. No excuses. We're going with the players we have, and if we execute, we're going to win.
Yeah, I agree. It shows that, that he trusts the players that he has on the team. He's been saying it all season long. I love my team. I love the guys we have here. If we don't make a move, I love the guys we have on this team right here. And it kind of does, people, talk about the lack of talent on this team, but it does show that we have some depth.
Yeah.
Right? It shows that we have some depth on this team to be able to maintain during, injuries. I mean, you're talking about a starter and a guy that is a potential sixth man of the year, or at least a candidate.
Exactly.
Who is out on your team, who could be a starter. So, that's and then when Derrick Rose went out, he's a guy that could be a starter on your team. We were able to maintain it. It definitely shows a lot of character on this team with this team here. Looking at
I just
the
think
lineup,
this team is just I just think this team is in a unique position. I really do. I think we're in a really, really, really good position right now.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Looking at the lineups, you're going to have Elfrid Payton. I do believe that Reggie Bullock may defend Terry Rozier, and you put Elfrid Payton on Cody Martin. If that's the way if this is the way the lineups are going to look. Of course, these are projected lineups. Then R.J. Barrett, Jalen McDaniels, Julius Randle, Miles Bridges, Nerlens Noel, Vernon Carey Jr. And who's to say, who knows how they might mix up the lineups. Again, I'm taking this lineup from their previous game against the Portland Trailblazers. It could change tonight. We know the Knicks lineup is not changing unless somebody's injured. As far as the Hornets, it could change by the time it gets to tonight. The one guy, of course, you got to be cognizant of is Terry Rozier. Andy, how do we deal with Terry Rozier tonight? He's another guy like Julius Randle who's been on a tear so far this season.
Yeah. Yeah, true.
What do we do?
He had a great game versus the Blazers. He's getting 30-point games, left and right. So he's their main point of their offense. What we gotta recognize is that he wasn't the primary ball handler from the beginning of the season, but currently when LaMelo is hurt and Graham is out, most of the games they had to adjust a little bit, putting the ball only in his hands. So he's the main engine, like you said, just like Julius is for the Knicks. So we gotta start with Terry Rozier on the defensive end. What I think the Knicks might do, I'm not sure about putting Reggie Bullock on him. Reggie is, I think it's not like he's too big, right? But I think Tibbs is going to still try Elfrid Payton versus Rozier, at least at the beginning. And, I think Tibbs might have the assumption that even if Elfrid is going to get beat by a couple of points, on Rozier, right? I think the rest of the team is going to have to put up not only points but better defense versus the rest of the four guys. The Charlotte Hornets are going to have on the court. So I'm thinking that he's not going to try to take any confidence from Elfrid Payton, and he's going to keep him on Terry Rozier. Thinking about the rest of the guys, I think, PJ Washington is also a guy that we got to look for. And, Jaden McDaniels, that was a kid that we were, talking about before the draft happened. And, some guys were pointing out that he might be a little bit too young, a little bit raw. But we see now that he has NBA talent and, is playing valuable minutes on that squad. So, and I think the first game, we played versus them, he also had, a couple of points that, that showed us, one of those guys again that nobody expected to score points, but he managed to. Only thing that I wanted to also point out, like overall, we lost the last 5 games versus the Hornets, and the other thing is the Hornets didn't reach 100-point mark in 4 of their last 10 games. So I think that might be something even better for the Knicks, because if they don't have scoring, that means their offense is really limited, right? And versus our defense, that might keep them really in a low 80s, right? You would think. So it's not gonna mean that the Knicks have to score 115 to get a W. So this game might be, I'm thinking it's going to be a hard game. But then again, if you think about it and you look at the lineups and how many guys they got out, this might be,
the gimme one, right? Not the gimme, but
it might be one of those games that you would think is going to be hard, but it might come surprisingly easy.
Well, so we didn't win no game against them last year?
No, they've had our number for a little while.
So
okay,
they've had our number for a little while. Yeah.
Wow.
Go ahead, Steph. You was about to say something.
I was gonna say, is that Jalen or Jaden?
Yeah. So this is Jalen. Jaden plays for Minnesota. This is Jalen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jaden is the young one. I think he's the young guy that is kind of raw, real skinny kid, kind of raw. I wanted to draft him. I really wanted the Knicks to find a way to draft that guy, but it didn't turn out to be.
I would have took Poku too, or Poku. Looking at him now, how smooth he looks on OKC, I would like him as well. But the point,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
The point I was going to make is Tibbs wants to. I mean, he's saying he believes in his team, and he's putting his actions behind it. Because when I see Detman on Miami, and I see Hollis Jefferson on, I want to say Portland, I'm like, wow, we could definitely use them. They don't have to be in the rotation, but they could be situational so that if we have an injury, they could step in, because the games that I saw them play, they were very active on the boards and blocking shots. But it is what it is.
The draft guys you were talking about, was this last year's draft, 2020 draft, or was it 2019, 20? Okay. All right.
Yeah. Last year's draft. It's interesting though, Andy, you say that about with Terry Rozier and putting Elfrid Payton on Terry Rozier to begin with. I know size-wise they match up. They're both like 6'4". I don't know if Elfrid Payton would like lose any confidence. I do think that they're just the kind of team that they understand everybody kind of has their little role and where they fit. And so if Tom Thibodeau says, hey, we'll put in, we're going to put Reggie on Rozier, it's kind of like, okay, just knowing that he's the best defender that's out there on the floor in that starting unit, at least. Probably overall.
Guys, I'll be right back. Be right back.
Probably overall, but at least in that starting unit, he's the best defender that's out there. But we'll see. That'll be interesting to see, because if, I could see if Gordon Hayward was there, I would think that, of course, Reggie Bullock would guard Gordon Hayward, definitely. And like Kev said earlier, we didn't have Gordon Hayward, Reggie Bullock to guard Gordon Hayward the first game. So that's going to be interesting to see where Tom Thibodeau goes. I think that it's not anybody else offensively, you're right, that I'm really afraid of. I will say that. But, of course, there's always some guys that step up, right? They're a team that it's kind of like ours. It's kind of like, hey, the next guy, whoever it is, has to step up and play basketball. And they got guys that'll step up and Miles Bridges, he can get hot on you and score some buckets. Malik Monk isn't there. Now if Devontae Graham plays, he's questionable for tonight. But if he does play, of course, he can get some buckets, right? And that guy can shoot it from deep.
Yeah, and Sim, just to add on the matchup on Rozier and Peyton, I think Peyton might be a little bit faster than Bullock. That's why I think Tibbs might keep him still on Rozier, because I think Rozier has that first step that he might get past Bullock. So I understand, he's bigger, stronger, but I think versus a player like Rozier, I think I rather have a guy stick to him a little bit closer, even if it's of course he's gonna get also beat, right? But I think I would still go with Peyton, at least at the beginning. And if we're gonna go down really big and see that Rozier is like killing us by himself, then you got to throw even double teams at him or whatever. But I think it's going to be, I'm just thinking in my mind, trying to go back games. Did Elfrid Payton in any game this year, did he got wasn't he guarding like every point guard we were playing versus?
Yeah, he has. Anytime we played a Damian Lillard or Kyrie Irving or any of those guys, he's been the one guarding the point guards.
And and I was thinking, because when you think about it, if you're the starting point guard, and I understand that it's closer to the playoffs, like you said, it's more important to get a W. It's not, he shouldn't have his ego, out there like that. So thinking that I gotta guard him or whatever. But that's gonna make him question, like maybe himself, his skill. Like why did he put me on someone else this game? I was guarding every point guard in this league till now, right? So why is Terry Rozier some kind of a guy that I was guarding Irving, Lillard, like you said, and the rest of the guys, and now I'm getting the second guy duties. Of course, that's only my idea, right? But I don't think it's going to be a big issue by any means, right? Just throwing it out there.
Yeah, no, that's definitely true. Let me get to a phone call here. And then we'll get back and talk about some keys to the game. Caller, you live. What's pop? Hey, Caller, you there?
Yeah. You remember me?
Yeah, I remember.
I was saying that this game we're definitely gonna win it, because the Knicks are back. Never. We're back.
Right.
Okay,
right.
I like that. I love the confidence. The Knicks are back. Too bad Amari is not here to support the claim, but that's okay. The Knicks are back. I love it, man. What do you think the score is going to be tonight?
Probably 105 to like 90, like 98 or something like that.
About 105 to 98, something like that. Probably a close game, right?
Yeah.
You think maybe a close game? Now, I mean, I think Andy does have something there, with the way that just the teams are constructed right now, with the Hornets not, just not having their weapons, and the Knicks playing the type of defense that they play. No Lonzo, no Gordon Hayward, maybe not even Devontae Graham tonight. It could be a struggle for them to score points if that's the case. Yeah. But hey, I love your prediction. I appreciate your call, and hopefully later on tonight you'll be able to call back in.
All
right, appreciate you, man. Now, Andy, you said that the Hornets are scoring. What was it?
I just read a stat that they didn't manage to reach 100 points in last 10 games, if I'm correct. So, in 4 of the last 10 games.
4, okay.
So it's still not, half, but they were, they were averaging way over 100 points, right? But they didn't manage to get to 100 in the last 4 of 10 games. So, and versus our defense, I'm guessing that, that 100 is going to be like, like Clyde said, sometimes first team to 100 is going to win. So.
Yeah, and the Knicks normally hold teams below their average. I think against Portland they scored 109, but we all know about Portland's defense, right? Portland's defense is we all know about Portland's defense. You know what I'm saying? So I guess we'll see how they come out tonight. I do expect the zone. How do you think the Knicks, they've played better against the zone? Right, it's been it still slows the team down, which is going to do with every team. But they've played better against the zone lately. Do you expect a lot of it tonight? Or do you think because the Knicks shoot better from the field, maybe it's scaring some teams off just a little bit, but they're not so heavy zone?
You know, I think the Knicks are trying to figure it out by putting RJ or Julius on top of the key, and they're running the ball through there. And we also saw, at least I don't know why it caught my eye, that when RJ gets the ball on the free throw line, right, he tends to turn to the basket and he's not passing up the ball. He's either driving or taking that shot, which is still getting the teams out of the zone. Not to mention, of course, the classic things, which is faster passes and going inside, outside, or the key things to be a zone breaker, buster, right? But I think them playing RJ at the free throw line and passing the ball to him and making him make the correct play is a big thing versus these guys, because he can also drive to the paint and get a foul, because we know he's strong and he's trying to go there and he's looking for those fouls even. But I think for real, it's not like they figure it out perfectly, but I think that's the main key that they are going to do versus this Hornets team. And I know it's going to be hard if Biyombo is going to be there in the middle, and big guys and even Bridges, which can get you a block from the weak side. But I think they're going to try to be breaking that zone through the free throw line and through RJ.
Okay. Steph, what do you think? Do you think the Knicks shooting has, kind of made, tempered teams down from the zone a little bit?
I think so, but I still think they're going to try it. They may not stay in it long, but, sometimes you just throw it in there to see how they handle it. And if they do, you come out of it. And if they don't, you stick with it. We're doing better. I think Andy's right. We are utilizing that foul line in the key, because that's where the opening is. But we still are not moving the ball as quickly as I would like to see against the zone. We're still holding it a bit too much.
Yeah, see, I agree. I feel like against the zone, you got to keep the ball swinging. And with the Knicks, it's like they pass it, hold it, and look. And then pass it and hold it and look. And every time you hold and look, the zone resets. Right. And so you never allow the zone to shift where the gaps can open up. But I think when you move it, boom, 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 you allow the zone to shift enough so someone can shoot the gap, and then you can find the person shooting the gap. Yeah, I see it. I see it every time.
I don't know why we not practicing that.
I don't either.
Like, what are we doing in shoot around?
That's what I'm saying.
We see it enough, right?
And that's a perfect thing to practice and shoot around, because it's not an intense drill, right? You have a team set up in some kind of a zone, and you just move the ball and have people shoot the gaps. You know what I'm saying? It's a perfect way, really, to warm you, to get your blood flowing and warm up, and and you're still working on how to beat that zone. I don't understand why. It still seems like we're very slow at attacking that zone, and the ball isn't moving. It would surprise me. It really would surprise me if Tom Thibodeau doesn't have them practicing against the zone. But it seems like they're not practicing against the zone, right? Because they continuously move the ball very slow against the zone instead of attacking it with good speed, good pace. And even when you do see players flash into the gap, they don't flash hard. They just kind of mosey their way to the spot. You know what I'm saying? And so when that happens, the defense doesn't have to come to attention like, oh, snap, he's flashing to the gap. Let me get there. The defense, they see you walk there. The defense can walk there and still assess what's happening and what's going on. And then, of course, you got guys like Elfrid Payton that's trying to penetrate the zone by dribbling. Every once in a while, he gets inside, but for the most part, that's going to be a problem, right? Because, it's very hard to dribble penetrate against the zone. If a team is playing a good zone, and this is a team, well, they got some players down, but I still think it's a team that can play a good zone and a strong zone. My keys to the game tonight One is to match the intensity. And I think for every game coming down this stretch, we're going to need to make sure we match the intensity of the opposing team. Right? Especially tonight, a team that, was trying to, they're scrapping and scraping to stay in that 8th seed so that they don't fall down to the 9th or 10th. And they're in the play-in, but they're trying to keep themselves there until they can get some people back. So we got to match the intensity and be ready to scrap. We need to win the battle of the boards. Right? They're going to be small. Bismack Biyombo is one of their centers. Vernon Carey, he's 6'9". We should win the battle of the boards. I don't think they have a player averaging over 6 rebounds a game. We need to run them off the three-point line. They shoot 38% from the three-point line. They're a team that can shoot it. They average about 14 three-point makes per game. I think they average about 38 or 39 attempts per game. All right, so we need to run them off that three-point line. Don't let them get hot from the three-point line. I know Malik Monk isn't there. Maybe Devontae Graham is not going to be there, but if he is, we know he's a guy that can shoot it. Okay, they are a team that they don't average a high number of turnovers, but there are times when they will turn the ball over. I think they average about 15 a game. When they do turn it over, we need to take advantage of it. Many times with this team, and it's part of the reason why we only average 8 fast break points per game. A team turns the ball over, and we don't take advantage of those turnovers. You know what I'm saying? We don't get the ball and get out and go. It's kind of we get the ball and we're not a good fast break team anyway. We make a lot of mistakes when we run a fast break. But we need to take advantage of turnovers. Even if it's not on a fast break. They turn the ball over, we got to make them pay. Make them pay. And then I think we need to keep Rozier at his average. There's going to be some other threats on the floor. They're in the NBA. Guys that can play, but not the threats of Gordon Hayward or LaMelo Ball or maybe not even Devontae Graham. So we need to keep Rozier at his average. We don't want him dropping 34 or 40 points against us. Yeah, I think we do those things, we'll be right there with a chance to win this game. Anything you guys want to add with that? Andy, I'll start with you.
I'd add that we gotta play great transition defense because I know that LaMelo is not there and he was jump starting most of those fast breaks, but I think their tactic versus us is going to be running, right? Because they know that if we set up our defense, it's going to be hard for them to score. So I'm guessing if I'm James Borrego, their coach, I'm trying to run. I got younger guys, maybe not younger, like I think they might be one of the youngest team also in the NBA. Maybe they're not younger than us, but they're probably close. And they have plenty of guys out, so plenty of new guys in. They probably don't have the chemistry out there, so running and playing a fast pace game might be something they're looking to do.
Yeah, Steph.
Yeah. They did that against Portland, too. And you would think that they don't have chemistry, Andy. It may have just been that one game. They looked cohesive.
I didn't see the game, so I was just thinking.
Yeah. And it could have just been that particular game where they kind of got it together, but they looked cohesive during that game. I think the other thing about Terry Rozier, I would hate for this game to get close down the stretch because he's so clutch. I don't think other than RJ, who's hit some clutch shots for us. I guess Randall can. I haven't really seen it yet. Burke is not there. So I would really hate for this game to come down to like a last-second shot.
Yeah. I agree with you there because Terry Rozier is a clutch player. Like, he wants that. You know what I'm saying? Like, he wants that. That's kind of who he is. He wants that. And I'm not saying that we don't have guys who want it, but he really does want it, and I don't want it to come down to that either. Knowing the kind of team that they are, they're going to bang and scrap and scrape and try to make it come down to that because I think they do, and teams around the league do understand that if you get the Knicks in a clutch situation, they've had a history. Obviously, over the 6-game winning streak, they've been able to pull some things out in the clutch. You've seen it last game. right? Where they were able to, capitalize on a defensive mistake by Lonzo Ball, capitalize on that, and then they went into overtime and they took advantage of the game. So I think teams do realize that the Knicks have had games where they faltered down the stretch. So, if you can get the Knicks into that type of a basketball game, some coaches are going to be like, we're going to test you. We're going to continue to test you. We're going to see, can you continue to pull these games out? Now, obviously, the Charlotte Hornets would rather be in a blowout, but I think that they would feel confident coming down the stretch that they could pull a game out. Having a guy like Scary Terry out there and then knowing that the Knicks have had this history, they might feel a little bit confident. Where the Knicks, though, are probably feeling confident like, hey, we've been pulling these games out over the past 6 games when they weren't 10-point leads. We've been pulling them out. We can pull it out again. They're probably feeling real, especially after the last game. They're probably feeling real confident. I still get a little bit nervous that they get into this relaxed mode. You know what I'm saying? And it's almost human nature. Like, you feel like, we're on this streak. We're not gonna lose. Like look at last game. Because when in the last game, right? I was thinking to myself as I was watching the game, I was frustrated. But I was thinking to myself, good teams find a way to win these games. And when you're having a good season, things tend to bounce your way and happen for you so that you can, opportunities happen, things happen, and you good teams take advantage of those opportunities. And a good thing happened and they took advantage of it. I think it's easy for a team to start to think something's going to happen so we can pull this game out. Something's going to happen. And you tend to relax a little bit, because you feel like, we might struggle. We might get a little lackadaisical, but we'll come back and pull it out. And I don't want this team to get like that. You know what I mean? Because I still think they're learning a lot about winning basketball. And they just got to stay laser focused and not get into any of those type of mindsets. But it's not easy because that's human nature. You know what I mean? That's one thing that winning does do to some teams. Winning can compound negative behavior, right? And we've seen it with Emmanuel quickly early in the season when he was constantly, he started off the season, he kept doing his little move and getting a foul call. Then all of a sudden he started doing it every time. Right. And so him getting that foul call compounded negative behavior or bad behavior or bad action or bad habits. Let me say that. And, if you can have a team, let's say, that doesn't really work hard, but they win, that kind of compounds a bad habit. I'm not saying that the Knicks don't work hard. I just want them to not feel like, the game is just going to come to them. They got to go get it. Go ahead, Andy.
Yeah, I wanted to add, which we already were talking about, and see basically on a game base, on a like game time, right? That even if we get a lead, we tend to lose it. Yes. So, I think it's more of about a short memory thing that, we got relaxed even if we are up like 12, 15, because we think that the defense is so good that we're never going to lose that kind of a lead. And then it happens, or it gets, close and they get stressed out and there's pressure again and stuff like that. So, I'm not expecting the Knicks to be up by 20 or 25. But I think, they're going to manage. It's going to be either a really close game or it might come a really easily win. It might not be like, over 20 points. But it's going to be a comfortable lead throughout the whole game. And then we're going to, finish it out. For example, even, get like 15 points win, but something like that. So it might go other ways. I'm not expecting, only loss I expect is like Steph said, that we're going to be really close till the end of the game. And then a guy like Terry Rozier hits like 2 or 3 buckets. That's going to be like daggers. And that's the only way we're going to lose this game. We're not going to get blown out by this team by any means.
Right. And I definitely agree there. That'd be the way that we lose this game, if it's in the cards for us to lose this game. We'll take a look at some. Oh yeah, go ahead, Steph. Go ahead.
We have over 300 people in the chat. We got 111 likes. Let's get those likes up. But I want to say something about the one person with the thumbs down. This is what kills me. If you go to a all-you-can-eat buffet and you don't like beef and broccoli and they got beef, you don't spend your time complaining about why they got beef and broccoli on the menu. You just go to the teriyaki chicken. And it's the same thing here. If you come on this channel and you don't like what we're saying, why you got to leave a thumbs down? Like, just move to the next channel. Like, I just don't get it.
You know what? You know what it is, Steph?
And now we got two. Somebody hit it again.
That's how they do it.
Now it's three.
Right. That's how they do it. And you know, that's how they do it. Listen, I've seen times, Steph, the video hasn't even started and it already has a thumbs down. So, you know, it just, I just take it with a grain of salt. Like, okay, you know what? You know, I just take it with a grain of salt. You know what I mean? I do want to remind people, though, we're only about 9 people away from 15,000. About 9 people away. So we can get 9 more subscribers, ladies and gentlemen. We can hit that 15,000 mark. And then, you know, whatever show, one of these shows, we'll have the, you know, we'll give away the Obi Toppin rookie card. So those 3 people that went and gave me a thumbs down, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. All right, that's how you can, you know, you can get back into good graces by going ahead and subscribing to the channel. You know what I'm saying? And we'll be all good. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel, ring that notification bell so you'll be notified anytime I go live, drop a video, or post in my community section, ladies and gentlemen. Go ahead and do that for a brother. I want to take a look at some of the stats behind these two teams so far this season. The Knicks, of course, we know they're scoring better. I will say that the Knicks are scoring a lot better than earlier in the season, which has been much needed. They're now up to averaging 106.1 points per game, the most that they've averaged this season. The Hornets average 110. Now, look, 106 isn't a whole lot. Okay, but there have been in recent games. I mean, they scored 122 against whoever they played last game. I forgot now.
Portland.
No, the Knicks. Who the Knicks played last game?
The Knicks played Pelicans.
The Pelicans. Right. We played the Pelicans. We scored 122, albeit that was in overtime. We scored 19 points in overtime, so we had 103 by the end of regulation. But we've been scoring more, 111, 113 points during this 6-game win streak. We've been scoring much better. The Hornets average 110. Obviously, that's going to be much different because they have different personnel out there on the floor. The Knicks, they grab about 46 rebounds per game. The Hornets about 44. I still think we should win this rebounding battle. Of course, they got some live bodies out there. That always bothers me with the Knicks because we don't have live bodies that's just moving around and bumping and always jumping. You know, we don't have those kind of live bodies on the floor. Some other teams do. I think the Hornets do. The Knicks average about 21 assists per game. The Hornets are about 27. The Knicks average 7.2 steals. The Hornets 8. 5 blocks for the Knicks. 5 blocks for the Hornets. The Hornets average 15 turnovers per game. The Knicks are about 12.6. Again, though, the Hornets they'll have nights where they'll give up the ball. And if they do, we got to take advantage of it. The Knicks shoot 45% from the field, while the Hornets are shooting 46% from the field. Both teams are about 38% from the three-point line. Both teams are about 77% from the free throw line. The Hornets they both average 45 points in the paint. The Knicks average 13 second chance points. The Hornets 12.2. 14 fast break points for the Hornets, 8.8 for the Knicks, which is, you know, it's ticking up. It's ticking up as they get more steals. It's definitely ticking up. And Derrick Rose helps us sometimes to play a little bit faster, which benefits this team in certain scenarios. Terry Rozier, he's their leading scorer with 20.7. Of course, Julius Randle, he leads us in points, rebounds, and assists. PJ Washington leads them in rebounds at 6.4. LaMelo Ball leads them in assists at 6.1, but he's not playing tonight. PJ Washington leads the Hornets in blocks at 1.35, and Nerlens Noel leads the Knicks in blocks at 2.14 blocks per game. And, Nerlens Noel has been playing magnificent basketball for us lately. We'll need him to continue to play that type of basketball tonight. What I do want to see from Nerlens Noel, and we've seen it in previous games. I think we've seen it the last game against the Pelicans. When they leave him open in that little mid-range, I just want him to shoot it because he can make it. He may not make it all the time. I just want him to go ahead and shoot it because it's gonna force his defender to say, hey, I at least have to defend him. Even if he misses it, it's a little short, a little long, but it looks like it's on point. Then, you're going to make the defense say, I got to guard this guy. I can't just let him shoot it. He's got to shoot it. What do you think, Andy? I see, you're grinning a little bit, Andy. What do you think?
Yeah, because I noticed that when he doesn't make it, he puts his head down, like shakes it twice, and he's like running back on defense. Meanwhile, when he makes it, he just is running down with like his chest, like, like a Leo, bro. He's like, I made it.
Right.
But right.
What'd you say, Steph?
I said, you're right. It opens things up. Like as soon as he hit that shot the other game, I said, wow, if he could just hit that shot 45% of the time, it would really open things up for us.
Yeah, it would. It just forces defenses to have to, he's another guy that you got to worry about. You know what I mean? Changes the game.
Yeah, Sim, I bet when he made that first, sideline jumper, I bet Mitch was, itchy under that casket, bro, he had on. He was like, oh, damn, man, I should have took this one.
Right.
That was my shot,
right.
He was probably thinking. So believe me, if he's going to get back on the court, he's going to be taking those shots. If Nerlens did it, he's going to feel really a green light.
Yeah. And, every once in a while, especially when we get in the zone or teams play zone against us, Nerlens Noel he'll have that shot available. And also, we've seen from time to time, Noel will get the ball at the elbow and take one dribble and go to the basket. I wouldn't mind seeing him doing that more, especially against big men like when you play against a Marc Gasol type of guy. Those guys not staying in front of Nerlens Noel if he decides to make a move towards the basket. But we've seen several times this year where he'll put the ball on the floor from that elbow or from the foul line and have some success. So I'd like to see it a little bit more because it just adds another threat out there on the floor that defenses have to pay attention to him, because he might go to the basket or he might shoot that mid-range jump shot and he's had success doing it. Of course, he's not going to, I don't want him to get crazy, right? And start taking, 10 shots in a quarter.
Trigger happy, right?
Right. You know what I mean? Unless he's catching that oop or something like that. But every once in a while, I'd like to see him go ahead and do it. I guess he's been, taking whatever comes to him at this point. Just taking whatever comes to him and he's having success doing it. So, I guess I'll be happy with that. I don't know. It's going to be a game tonight. I'm hoping that the Knicks find a way to come out hot and maybe run them out the gym. I don't know if it's going to be that way, but it would be nice, to have another night where, you can kind of relax and not have to stress about it. You know what I mean? But I don't know if it's going to go that way. What do you expect from Julius Randle tonight? Julius Randle's been, of course, he's been on fire. He's been on fire. What is it? Four games in a row with 30-plus points. Do we expect the same thing? He's going to have Miles Bridges on him tonight. Maybe some Bismack Biyombo a little bit. What do you expect from Julius Randle tonight?
the same?
For me, I think it's gonna be. I think he can get 30. I think maybe he's not like he's thinking about it that I gotta get 30, so I'm gonna take as many shots as I need to get that 30 piece. But I think he really can get it, and he's on such a high form at this point. On level. He's going to ride that wave, until he has a really bad game. I think he's going to be taking those shots and making them probably. So, I have faith in him easily.
Yeah. Steph, you expect much of the same?
Yeah. Much of the same. Like Andy, I don't think he's searching for it or saying he has to get it, but he's going to get those shots. Hopefully he's a bit more efficient today. Burke is not there. There's more shots for him because the players that's taking Burke's minutes, they don't really shoot a lot. So there's more shots for RJ, more shots for Randall. Yeah, I think it's going to be more of the same.
Yeah. And I think we probably, the same way that we've seen Frank Ntilikina and Kevin Knox, we'll probably see them both the same way tonight, depending on what the team needs at the moment. You might see one of those guys in. If they need defense, they'll bring in Frank. If they need, Charlotte go zone, then you might see Knox a little bit more tonight. If Charlotte decides to go zone so that he can help to spread that floor. Whether or not he makes the shot, he's a threat. Teams know. They know the scouting report, and they know, he shoots about 41% from the three-point line. So if they go zone, I think you'd expect to see Kevin Knox out there on the floor. RJ Barrett. He played well. I don't think he liked the fact that he fouled out. So I'm expecting for him to come in and play well tonight. Is that the first time he's fouled out?
I think so.
That's the first foul out of the career?
It seemed like it. I was shocked. Like, never was thinking that he's even close to fouling out. Meanwhile, and it was like a couple of minutes till the end of the game. It was not like, that like under a minute or something, right?
Yeah.
So. And overtime. When it's overtime, we didn't have.
Right, and win in overtime. So I think he's going to come back and really want to play well tonight. We need Reggie Bullock to continue to hit timely shots. He's been playing well. I don't know if he's taking it upon himself to say, hey, I've got to be a scorer since Burks is out. I don't think he's taking it upon. I think he's just playing his game, and most people are just playing their game. But he's been reliable. Early in the season, it was like, oh my gosh, we can't rely on Reggie Bullock. He's got one job to knock down threes, and he's not hitting them. But especially over the 6-game win streak, he's been pretty reliable, and he's doing more than just hitting shots in the first quarter or the second quarter, but he's spreading it out throughout the game and hitting them in timely portions of the game, especially in the last game. Right, that was super timely. And speaking of the last game, what did you guys think about what Stan Van Gundy said about the defensive rotation? He was like, that's a defensive rotation that a high school player would have known not to make. Now, obviously, the person who made
the last shot with Rose.
Yeah, the last shot where Lonzo Ball helped off of Reggie Bullock.
Wow.
And he said a high school player would have known not to make that rotation. That's pretty bad to say.
It is. And I'm saying, I was about to say something. He's from the Van Gundy tree, but that kind of separates him because Tibbs wouldn't have said anything like that.
Exactly. Tibbs wouldn't have said that. He wouldn't have said it. I mean, when you say that, you only talk about one player who made that rotation. One player. One player. That's Lonzo. He's the only one who made that rotation. So you're basically saying, guy can't play defense. He don't have the IQ of a high school player. That's bad. Lonzo's not going back there.
Yeah, he's not coming back. Yeah, well, not just that. I think he said it because he know they're not going to sign him.
Exactly.
So he doesn't care about alienating them.
Right. But what's that do to other people on the team? Like, yo, if he'll do that to them, he'll do it to me too.
Nah, I think it's only towards Lonzo like that, and he had him on the platter. Like Lonzo just made it easy for him to take a jab at him.
He did.
So and I for me personally, I think it was just a blunder because basically every player could make that. I probably if I would be a coach or even assistant, before those guys went out on the court, before that play, I would tell them, just don't look to help. Never let a chance for that 3-point shot to get up even.
Right.
So that would be the main thing, right? Meanwhile, it looked like an instinctive play he did.
Yeah.
So, it's also, and he's a young player still. He's a young player. So, I'm thinking it was a sincere mistake. But,
Right.
versus the Knicks that are looking to sign him and stuff like that, people were already on Twitter saying
Right.
that he did it so the Knicks could win. So,
I mean, the hard thing is this, like what you just said is right, instinctual, right? Because you get trained so much. It's like you see someone drive to the basket, you help and get back, help and get back, help and get back. And it becomes second nature that when you see this action, your body does it. Right. And in that situation, of course, you got to fight it and not do it and say, I got to stay on the 3-point shooter. But your body does things that it happens all the time in basketball. We see people make defensive mistakes, and a lot of it is out of habit because it's habitual for you to make this rotation. You make this rotation 1,000 times per week, and now one time you don't want me to make that rotation. You know what I'm saying? So that is a difficult thing. If anyone out there has played basketball when you were young and your coach was teaching you how to pump fake, right? You learn how to pump fake. And then all of a sudden, you're in layup lines and you boom and you pump fake. And you're like, oh, why did I pump fake? And then you lay up. And then you go ahead and lay it up. And you see that with young kids a lot, right? They'll be on the court just pump faking all the time. It's like, why did you pump fake? Nobody's there. But it's because they train their body to do that, and it happens naturally. Yeah. That's how you want the basketball game to be, where things happen naturally. But in certain situations, you got to learn how to control the instinct. It's hard.
Yeah, and Sim, not to mention, imagine D-Rose, dribble was sloppy, a little bit sloppy. And you just being closer to that, you could get that steal or, stress him out a little bit more. So, he couldn't handle the ball. You would be a hero.
Right.
In that situation, if you get that steal. So
exactly.
It's for me, I think it was really a mistake. And even if the coaches yelled at him, just nobody leave your man on the 3-point line. We can give up a 2-point basket. It's still, I think a real mistake for a young kid.
No, yeah, it was definitely a mistake. But that's also something too. When they were in the huddle, did the coaches say, "We'll let them have the 2, don't let them shoot a 3"? Did they say that, or did they assume that the team knew that? Because you can't make those assumptions. So, CT Pittman, thank you for the super chat. He said, "Big game tonight since the Celtics lost last night." Yep. Very true. Said, "I live in Charlotte, and the Hornets cannot be taken lightly. People around here are excited about the Hornets again." Yeah, we know. They definitely can't be taken lightly. And I don't think well, at least we're not taking them lightly. Hopefully the Knicks aren't taking them lightly either. Any last thing that you want to say real quick? Because I'm going to get Josh has a new video out. It's coming on at 4:45, a new controversy video. As far as Josh is concerned, we're one player away. He's going to tell you why and who those players are that he thinks will take this team to another level. That's at 4:45. And actually, when we end this video, those who were on YouTube, it should take you directly to Josh's video. So that'd be pretty dope. Any last thing that you want to throw out there, Andy?
If we lose.
Actually, go ahead, Steph, because Andy just.
If we lose this Sam, I'm gonna be so tight. Now, it could come down the stretch, and if we have to dig it out and win, I'll be happy with the win. Maybe not with how we won. I'll still be happy with the win. But if we lose this tonight, I don't care how we lose. If we lose it tonight, I'm going to be really, really tight.
Yeah.
We got to focus. We got to lock in. We got to get this one.
Yeah, because these next 3 games are important. I know that Tom Thibodeau and the coaching staff is letting them know, but these these next 3 games are really, really important, and we need all 3 of them to set us up really nicely. And we'll be, 7 games above 500 at that point. Really set us up nicely. So, Andy?
Yeah, I totally agree with Steph. That the only game, if I had to pick a L out of these 3 games, I take the L from the Raptors. These games with Hornets, and especially I think the Hawks may be even a more important game, because if we get them an L and get us a W, we might jump over them. So, I think that tomorrow's game is even more important than today's game. But, just to continue this streak, I like this W.
Yeah. We got to have it, man. We got to have it. Well, anyway, ladies and gentlemen, remember, subscribe to the channel. 9 subscribers away from 15K. So hit that subscribe button. Smash that like button. We're about to head over here so we can check out the controversy. But just real quick, just want to remind you, my keys to the game for tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Then we'll get on over to the controversy. Keys to the game. We got to match the intensity and be ready to scrap. This is a team also fighting for playoff position. Their backs are against the wall with so many injuries. They're going to come out ready to battle. We got to match that intensity. We need to win the battle of the boards. They're a small team. They start a 6'9 center. Their backup center is 6'9. We start a 6'10 center, so it's not like we're that much bigger. But we've been a good rebounding team all season long. We need to continue to rebound the basketball tonight, especially those offensive rebounds. We don't want them to get defensive rebounds and get out on the break, because they can run a fast break. They average about 15 fast break points per game. We need to run them off the three-point line. They can get hot. They shoot 38% from the three-point line. Not sure if Devontae Graham is going to be playing, but if he does play, he can shoot it. Let's run them off the three-point line, see if they can score in the paint. Let's take advantage of turnovers. They average 15 turnovers per game, but they will give up more than that. We need to take advantage of it. We need to turn those turnovers into points. Keep Rozier at his average, ladies and gentlemen. Keep him at his average, and then those ancillary players, stop them from scoring. We do those things, I think we have a chance to win this game tonight, ladies and gentlemen. We appreciate you all. We're going to head over to the controversy. Your man Josh is over there. Out of here, ladies and gentlemen.